HR Famous is brought to you by HRU Tech, a contingent staffing firm specializing in engineering, IT, and technically related placements across multiple industries. If you're looking for technical talent or searching for a career, look no further than HRU Tech. Find them online at hrutech.com and call them today. HR Famous is also brought to you by Kinetics, the leading RPO recruiting firm for growth companies, named by HRO Today as the top midsize RPO provider. Kinetics uses its unique skill-based recruiter model to deliver on RPO engagements, allowing them to customize scope to meet your unique hiring needs. If you have recruiting challenges and want to consider RPO as a solution, give Kinetics a call. Find them online at kineticshr.com.
What up, HR Famous Nation? It's not just HR Famous, it's HR Famous Nation. Dang, I'm a little bit rusty getting us kicked off and fired on our episode here. I am Jessica Lee with the giggles. Also giggling is my friend Tim Sackett and HR Famous Nation.
It's a very special episode.
It is a very special episode. For multiple reasons. First off, for all of you loyal listeners, I'm sure you know what time it is. It is our 100th episode.
Yeah.
There should be some music or something.
Do you remember, Jay, like when we were kids, like, and they would have like the very special, this weekend, the very special episode of Blossom.
Blossom. You know, I always loved Six as a character. And then, of course, Joey Lawrence. Like, Blossom was an amazing show. I mean, they don't make TV like that anymore. And instead we talk about, like, Ozark and Vinton Anna and, like, all these serious things. And, like, what happened to that wholesome? Like, is there any wholesome comedy anymore?
I don't know. You want to introduce our special guest for episode 100? For those who listen to 99, they got to hear our big news, which is Kris Dunn, life coach, is out as a member of the HR Famous crew on an ongoing basis. We'll have him back. So,
but you know what? It is hard to stay away, and so here we are with episode 100. And Kris Dunn, you just can't quit us.
We had to have him back.
You know, I'm like James Harden. Like I'm like
a basketball player.
Yeah, because I got
disinterested. Is he the one who has the beard?
Yeah, he's the one with the beard.
Oh, okay, the beard.
And also, he's kind of a quitter on teams, right?
He quits on teams and then goes.
He quits on teams. He gets like these mysterious hamstring injuries, and then puts out in the press that he wants out, but he has to stay, like until they get him traded. So I was here for the announcement, and now I'm back. I'm just kind of on the bench in street clothes. And you can't get rid of me. It's probably going to happen sometime soon, but here I am, 100 episodes in. What an accomplishment!
How's the hammy?
You know, it's I'm trying to stretch it out. I'm trying to roll it out a little bit. I'm on the roller, you know. But yeah,
it's weren't you going to send me a Theragun, by the way? Like
I'm gonna get you one. Tim, you like yours, right?
I love the fact I need a Theragun right now on my traps.
But like, you know, when you use a Theragun, like when I've seen the videos, like you just see so many things shaking. Right. Do you feel that amount of shaking, or it's just the video? Like just if someone else sees it.
Yeah.
It's disturbing to me.
They want you to see the movement, right? Yeah. To see how dynamic it is.
But
you don't really move that way in real life. It doesn't like, you don't see all that like.
It feels amazing. Yeah.
Really?
You'll like it.
It's pretty deep too. It's a pretty deep like massage thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get you one, JLee.
Okay, that's interesting because I use like the old school manual back canes, or I make my kids come up to me and like pound my shoulders.
Oh, your kids will love using the Theragun.
Do you have one of those back scratchers that has like the claws, like it's a skeleton, and you're like scratching your back that way? The way you described that, that's kind of what I.
No, it's a back cane to get the knots out. But I digress. It's 100. Welcome back, Kris Dunn. It is good to have you here.
Thank you.
In the spirit of this being our 100th episode, I mean, what you're typically supposed to do is do a little bit of reminiscing. And
Yeah.
what's interesting though is, we spent a lot of time in the first, 50 up till maybe 80 talking about we're in the pandemic, we're still in the pandemic. And I guess here at 100, what's interesting is that, like, I don't know, are we starting to emerge? I actually feel like things are starting to feel normal again. So first question, what is like the most normal, Tim, you've been going to work every day, so this doesn't really apply to you, but like, what is like the most normal thing you've done recently where you're like, dang, this is like normal and I feel normal again?
I do have one. I have one. So it was funny because I'll show like the difference, right? So Michigan, and Katie loves my state. They decided to lift the mask mandate, and Michigan State University, which I am a big fan of, lifted the mask mandate, and they did it on a Sunday. So that's when the mandate was lifted. So I went with my son, and we went to go see Mean Girls on a Saturday at the big kind of Broadway theater at Michigan State. And we had to have our vax card, and we had to get checked, and we had to have mask on. The very next day, not even 12 hours later, I'm in the Breslin Center with 15,000 people with no vaccination cards, no masks, screaming our heads off. And I'm thinking, this is the dumbest thing in the world in terms of just like the dichotomy of what I just went through. Yeah. So I got to be in a big giant basketball stadium screaming my head off with no mask.
Spit flying everywhere.
Oh, licking people next to me, high-fiving, hugging. I mean, it was crazy.
Wow, that sounds gross, but also amazing at the same time. Kris, what's the most like normal thing you've done recently?
So it's been open for a while in the Southeast. let me just say that. But I think the biggest thing is travel. JLee, I remember I went to Vegas. Tim, did I go to Vegas with you last fall? I'm trying to remember. I think it was a show. I think we were there together.
HR Tech?
Yeah, that's probably it, right? It's still cloudy like through the pandemic, but I got there. I think the biggest thing I've seen a change on just recent travel is not having to mask up in hotels. So you think about the travel situation. We're still masked up. Sounds like we're going to be that way through the end of April, at least, in airports and on airplanes, maybe buses too. Like, who knows about all that? But I think just being in a hotel for long periods of time and not masking up felt super normal. And I was appreciative of it because, you just like look around the corner of the past and hadn't been that way long.
Yeah.
But normal again. So one normal thing that happened this week was my daughter's teacher emailed me, and we hadn't talked about like masks coming off in schools, but they're starting to. And she asked me, she's like, is Una allowed to take her mask off during the day? We told everyone it's like a family decision, but she wasn't sure how you felt about it. And I was like, oh, we forgot to like talk to Bobby J about it. And she is allowed to take her mask off during the day because she's double vaxxed. And it's interesting. She said like half the kids are, half the kids aren't. And I know my son's school is about to turn that corner too. But like, that's normal. My daughter's never been to elementary school without a mask.
Wow.
And so I'm like, wow, like she'll be able to see her teacher's facial expressions, like fully if her teacher's choosing to take the mask off.
Yeah.
And like with the other kids and like, man, we're coming out of it. Maybe, yes, I don't know. So life is starting to feel normal on 100 episodes.
Yeah, we did. I think it was actually easier for us all because pretty much we were working from home, except I wasn't, but I didn't have anybody in my office. So, but did you feel like we had more time to connect during the pandemic to do these shows? Like, it seems like life is way busier. Like,
yes.
So you think, hey, masks are off, but everything else got busier too.
Yeah, no, that's true. Even in personal life, like there's kids, activities, birthday parties, all that has like ratcheted up big time. So that's the one thing I dread is now I'm gonna have to go awkwardly stand around other parents and have small talk with people I have nothing in common with, except for our kids are the same age and have some remote interest of similarity. As you can tell, I'm very excited about it. But you guys have lived through all that. You just... the art of small talk. I guess I'm going to have to pick that back up. It's been a while.
How's Bobby J with small talk? Is he better than you?
Awful. Nope, hates it. Which is
Okay.
why anytime I've ever, like when Tim came to town, was like, "Hey, let's have dinner." Bobby was like, "Nope, no thanks."
Oh no, I was so offended by that. I was like, Bobby was like, I'm like, no, really, Bobby should come. I want to meet him. And she's like, yeah, no, he's out.
No. No, and I took him to one work happy hour about 10 years ago, and he was like, "I'm never going to happy hour with your like coworkers again. No, thank you." So he'll never come to a holiday party unless I really dragged him. Is not a small talker because he's an introvert. Just is like, well, I'm never going to see you again. What's the point? So, I don't know. It was not happening.
So you guys, what did we learn in 100 doing 100 podcast episodes?
What did
Well,
we learn?
what I have learned, and I will continue to always point to this as something that I think continues to help my professional development, is like having an opinion. And I just think that, and like, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but it just continues to resonate with me. Like, having an opinion is, a lot of people don't have an opinion, right? Like, they just get along to go along, or they don't want to ruffle feathers. And I can't always have a strong opinion about everything. But having an opinion is probably one of the big things. And then I think the other thing is, there are times where it's hard for me to have an opinion because maybe it's compromising, or like from a work perspective to protect the brand I work for, maybe it's challenging. So like the flip side of that is like being able to see both sides and be balanced about something, even if I have very strong personal opinions about it. I feel like has been like an art and something that's been honed over 100 episodes, although I haven't been on all of them, but I still think it's been like a great practice. And I would point to it to anyone to say like, oh, that's really forced me in a good way.
I think we had at least 90 with all three of us, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think
Probably.
it's very occasional.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of them where we didn't have like the three of us. I think you learn, like when you're putting stuff down like this, I agree with Jessica, point of view is important. And also trying to get in and out like quicker, like with the point of view, right? And try and make it concise. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I also think when you hear yourself, it's kind of a healthy exercise when you hear yourself on audio, like especially early. And by the way, I'm sure many people are critical of me or all of us or some of us now related to how we talk. Sure. But when you hear yourself early, did any of you make adjustments? Like after hearing yourself across like the first 10 to 15 episodes? I know I did.
Well, we definitely got like better mics. We realized like a mic makes a big difference in terms of the voice 100%. Sound quality, right? Like,
yeah. One thing I know I do often, whether it's in the podcast or just in real life, is I start out a lot of sentences with, well, so I was thinking about one thing. Yeah, like I say those things all the time. So that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
What was your adjustment? What did you notice?
I think when I listened, it's kind of similar to what you said, but it's like little delays in cadence. And I just want to be crisper with that and quicker with that. So I think when I'm thinking, if I don't have a thought totally formulated, little pauses, kind of drag out words. And I think when I heard that, it was just mindful of me to be quicker to get through the words.
Yeah. I think one thing I have definitely seen, I think something that I've realized, something that I've realized is also that I think this forces you to be, at least for me, a better listener. Because I think at the beginning, like I was always like, what am I going to say? Like, what do I want to say? And like the riffing. By listening, I just think, and this is real life too, like this is a piece of coaching that I give to people not too infrequently, which is like when people are so focused on what are they going to say next, they just don't listen. And then they're just trying to get out what they want to say and they've missed it. They're not listening, connecting the dots. And I think the value of listening is something that I still need to practice, because sometimes I'm like reading an article or doing like background while one of you is talking, and then I'm like, well, I actually kind of missed part of it. So work in progress. Tim, how about you?
I have two. One would be I figured out early on whoever leads talks more. And at that same time, and we've had this conversation that I had people reach out to me that said, "Oh my gosh, I love Jessica. I wish she would talk more." And so that we actually kind of came up with a cadence that we would all like take turns leading so that you would have more, you would be out there more in a forefront of, at least every third episode, be leading, because Katie and I think early on, like sucked the air out of the room comparable to you. And so there was a piece of that where I had to get a lot better of just being, it's okay for me not to talk for a while and let you guys go and have the conversation, or, all three of us can't talk and we all like to talk. So that was one of those that I learned early on, was whoever leads ends up actually spending more time on mic, which I think is a really good thing, that we could even that out right away. The other thing was after 100 episodes, and for how much time that we spend actually recording, we sometimes spend as much time not recording and having conversations. And I don't know if I have two closer people in my life besides my wife that I talk to on a consistent basis than I do with you guys. So creating that relationship and that friendship has been probably one of the most rewarding things through the pandemic that I can kind of point to.
Well, I feel like we need to
unpack
Kris,
that.
Kris, do you need a tissue? I wish I could just pass the box over.
It's super interesting, JLee. I just really like to get my hot takes in there. Like, that's really why I'm here. Just a hot take, boom, boom. I'm joking, of course. I think our tech stream should be a podcast. Like, I think we should do like video of our tech streams. That would be, no. Yeah.
No, that would be career limiting. No.
Here's a question, like reflecting on 100 episodes. This is kind of like school yearbook stuff. Who's the meanest out of the three of us?
Wow. Yeah. Tim. I
think he's the meanest, isn't he?
For sure. Yeah. Well, by the way, I would say, Katie, personality wise, you're always more guarded than the three of us. So that automatically makes you're not going to be mean. Jessica has to worry about a big brand, and I'm the only idiot that's willing to kind of just speak from the heart on a lot of stuff. Which that means I'm going to be the meanest.
I think, like, when you think about that, though, we've talked about a lot of stuff that could go wrong from an opinion perspective. I think the other thing I've learned from it is kind of the art of the hedge, right? Yeah. So if you want to unlock like your point of view, you first have to acknowledge the other side, and find value in that, and then you do your point of view. And by the way, is that a hedge? Yeah, it is. But honestly, that's the way like kind of being a centrist works. Like, if you have a point of view, you want to acknowledge, you want to bring as many people in the tent as possible, and then you want to get your hot take in there right after you do that. It's like, boom, hot take. By the way, if I'm guarded, why am I leaving? This is tears in my eyes. If I'm the most guarded, why?
You are the most guarded, though, for sure, right, Jay? Do you agree with that?
Do you agree with that, Jay?
Yeah, I might think so. I don't know if it's like always the most guarded about your opinions on things related to like the world of work and HR and all things talent, but maybe with your feelings, you're probably the most guarded of the three of us.
Katie, I think it even speaks to you in your executive position at Marriott, which is you have a political savviness to you that's really high. And that's a strength. It's not a weakness by any means. Like, you know when to share your opinion and when not to. I'm dumb. Like, I share my opinion all the time, and probably many times when I shouldn't. And Jessica is maybe a little bit in the middle from that standpoint. So that's just my hot take.
What is a hot take? Is that like a surprise, like, point of view on something? Is that what a hot take is?
Before we move on, I need to let you know about my friend Mark Pfeffer and his show, People Tech. If you're looking for the latest on product development, marketing, funding, big deals happening in talent acquisition, HR, HCM, that's the show you need to listen to. Go to the Work Defined Network, search up People Tech, Mark Pfeffer. You can find him anywhere.
JLee, think about the news shows, right? And regardless, right, left, there's really no center anymore. Like in the news shows, it's all talking heads, one topic, get your take in, and they try and have two people on one side and they try and bring one poor soul in on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's just like, get your 45-second take in, and now we got to go to the pillow company and get the ad in.
Is Putin Hitler? Hot take.
Right.
The pillow company, pillows. I like, after traveling, I love coming home to my frumpy old pillow. Let me tell you, that's like one.
But it's flat, right? You're a flat pillow?
Yeah.
Individual?
Like flat pillow, as flat as possible.
Tim, we talked.
Do they give you the pillow menu? Do you get that? Have you been? No, but have you been to a hotel that you get the pillow menu?
Well, no, but that's like your personal profile, like in the Bonvoy app. Say, like, what's your pillow preference?
Yep.
Flat as can be. Flat as can be.
We talked about this on the road last week, Tim. Yeah. I like a pillow that has the appearance of some volume, but as soon as you put your head on it, it's boom.
Yeah.
It's right down. I like the appearance of some thickness, but you just like dominate the pillow and you get there. There's a hot take for you. I'm showing my true emotions about pillows.
Hot take, pillow talk. That could be the 100th episode is just going to be the HR famous pillow talk episode.
and people will be drawn to it and then to say, wait, they're only talking
about pillows.
About pillows?
How crazy.
What?
By the way, though, Tim, you said all of us like talking. I actually don't. I'm not like a...
You like talking with us, JLee.
Yeah.
No, but that's like the job here, right? Like if I didn't talk, then that's why like me hosting was not something I gravitated to, and I really, I do it because you guys make me. It's not because I'm like dying, and I don't actually believe you, Tim, when you say people are like, "Oh, Jessica should host more." Like this is not the natural space I want to be in. Like I don't like talking.
Jay, I feel like you've done great at hosting. You'll continue to do great at hosting. I feel like you put your own stamp. I do feel like I was a little bit of a mentor for you. Introing it. Like, I think you've kind of come over to my line of thinking, what up? You like coming in, what up, HR famous?
Because I don't know how else to do it. All I do is like, I'm like,
you just had a clown like in me that was like, what up? What's up, HR famous? And you just came in with your own style. That's cool. Hey, let's do this. I gave you the who's the meanest.
Yeah.
JLee, you go next. Give us a category. Yearbook time. High school yearbook.
One of your an episode that you really thought was interesting and got some either different perspective or thought it was insightful. And I'll go first because something that I don't know what number it is anymore because after 100, you just lose count. But we did cover on an episode once. There was I think it was a Wall Street Journal piece around fewer males going to college.
The masculinity one.
The masculinity one. Yeah. And I just thought it was a really like insightful, unexpectedly for me. I didn't think we'd go deep, but for me, it was like a really insightful dialogue to just kind of pick apart the topic. And I think in some ways there were some personal, perspectives that were also layered in. And it was probably deeper than I was expecting, but really insightful. And it stuck with me and it still sticks with me about just the whole issue of like, what's to be done there? So that's something that pops into my mind. I don't know, bathroom talk, Tim, that's the one, like, when I talking about going to the bathroom during the day, is that the one has stuck with you? Maybe that's the one that stuck with Kris because he missed it. And, he's too classy to talk about bathrooms.
That's why I'm back.
He's trying to up the class level.
All the Matumbo episodes of KD. Those are
Theranos. Elizabeth Holmes, the Elizabeth Holmes voice.
Yeah, that's going to be the KD like voiceovers is like the funny ones, right? It's Cookie Monster KD coming in.
I'm looking at the episodes. I think one that I got a lot of feedback on was when we talked about making HR and recruiting more like Uber.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah,
digging into that in terms of some of the feature sets. And then if I just scan through these, I did one. This was my idea. Probably nobody else liked it, but since it was my idea, I thought it was brilliant. We did the Elon Musk show. Could you be his HR leader? I like that one. We've just done a lot of I enjoy it most when we talk about workplace issues that kind of coincide with HR recruiting, but are not specifically about the HR and recruiting business. Like another one would be, should you send that email at 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
Just kind of digging into that
the stuff we do as professionals, and it just happens. We all do it, whether you're in HR, accounting, whatever.
Yeah. Tim, what about you? Anything come to mind?
Episode wise?
Yeah. But while you're thinking, Tim, I'll give Jay another one.
I got another one.
So you've already talked about it, but Theranos work texts, texting from Elizabeth Holmes. That's when I went into the Matumbo voice. Matumbo doing Elizabeth Holmes is how I did the Elizabeth Holmes voice.
Oh no! What about how many episodes that we did talk about JLee getting the LinkedIn invite from Gary Vee? Like that literally spun, it was like a month long where we couldn't figure out why she got the invite and we never did it. I reached out to him, everything. No invite from Gary Vee.
Well, he still hasn't returned my phone call and he hasn't come on the pod. So what does that say? I mean,
didn't you unfollowed him, correct, Jay?
Oh, well, now he's really never going to come on the podcast. I mean, I did sign up to receive his motivational text messages, and then you guys clowned me because I actually did save his number in my phone as Gary Vee so that when the text messages would pop up, they would say from Gary Vee. And then I just got tired because also you would receive the text messages and then send it to us. I'm like, well, why sign up when I'm going to receive them from you anyways?
By the way, we weren't clowning on Gary Vee. Katie and I still send Gary Vee stuff to each other.
Yeah, but we like old Gary Vee, not new Gary Vee.
Not new Gary Vee.
We like the hard, the
David
Goggins style, like Gary Vee. And there was a time, I'll admit it, where for 2 months, anytime Gary Vee would send a motivational text, I would send it to the two of you and sometimes Don Burke just as my own text.
With the emoji, the heart emojis in it, which was also very confusing to me. But then I realized, no, this isn't Kris.
Yeah, and you were talking about what do different colors of hearts mean, and I'm like, I'm out of my element here.
Guarded with the emojis, not either. Another episode that has stuck with me where I felt like it stung a little bit, and I think you guys were a little bit cruel. I mean, I have a hard exterior and talk like I'm a tough person, but I'm a big old softie at the end of the day. But I was trying to have a serious conversation about geriatric millennials, and you just kept crapping on me about it's your time. Okay, yeah, you millennial, it's your time. I don't even know what you were saying, but you guys were just rude about the fact that I was trying to make some point, and you just were like, it's your time. Oh, hey, you want the future. It's your time.
I think I'm guilty as charged on that one. I think I went overboard on that one. I was
I want to change my vote. Katie's the meanest.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, sure, it's your time. Yes, of course it's your time. You're 35 to 40. It's supposed to be your time. Welcome to the show. But that doesn't mean every geriatric millennial is a star. It means that the best ones are and the other ones aren't.
It's your time. Yeah, it's your time. I literally said that over and over.
By the way, JLee, that episode, Katie spent most of that episode trying to build you up, knowing that he did break you down. Because it was always like, JLee, you have to understand, you're a winner. You're the one that's on top.
I wasn't really trying to build her up after I tore her down. It was really the point, but I digress. What episode number is that?
I don't know. We're going to delete it. No, because it just was scarring. And I felt like you guys were making a mockery of me. And that makes you, Kris Dunn, the meanest of all of us.
Hey, by the way, this is a more,
episode 66.
We did have the whole social justice thing happen during these 100 episodes as well. And we didn't spend a lot of time really focusing or talking about that. And that was on purpose. We started with this concept of HR Famous as 3 friends that are all in the HR world that just want to talk shop and want to talk about the things that we think are happening that are funny, sometimes serious, but most of it was how can we have fun with this, right? In terms of our careers. And that seemed so heavy and so serious that that wasn't really how we wanted the HR Famous show to go. And so I think there were some people that I talked, like, they were like, wanted to hear our takes on stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, we're not going that way. It's not what we want. Right. Like, I mean, and again, it's still very heavy. And there's people out there that have podcasts that focus on that. It wasn't going to be us.
Yeah, I think that's hard for us to tackle. And if we're being really honest, I also think that it's probably, there's no, like, it's a lose-lose proposition in many ways, right? Like, I'm no expert. I am a person of color. I'm a woman, but I am not an expert. I can speak from a space of my own personal opinion. You guys could ask questions in earnest out of curiosity, and we could frame it as that. But I think I just think it's really difficult for people to really see it for what it is, like friends talking and having honest conversations with one another.
Yeah.
And we'd probably be taken to town. And I think the one time we did try to tread into even a lighter topic of microaggressions. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why we don't have a 5 out of 5 ratings on Apple iTunes, and I think we got some flack for that. So it's just really hard. And, we're all like, we want to do good and be the best. And I'm not saying that. I think it's hard for us to tackle a topic like that.
Yeah. All right. My high school yearbook is who's like, I would say the high school yearbook title would be who's the smartest. It's really who do we learn the most from?
Isn't that also a lose-lose? Like, what? Someone's going to be offended as a result.
Nah, I'm going to say Katie. I think Katie always comes with.
Well, now I'm offended, Tim.
You should be. No, but I think he comes, like, I always think I know what Katie's going to say. And a lot of times he comes with a different take, which I'm always kind of appreciative of.
So I'll say Jessica, just because Tim and I, you and I talk a lot, like offline.
Yeah.
Without Jessica. So hearing Jessica's take on things is good. But, of course, Tim, I learned from you in so many ways beyond the podcast. There's the Tim Sackett project. There's, your good works in the community.
For sure.
There's just a lot of stuff. Interesting.
Well, I'm going to go the safe route and offend no one to say I have learned, and I do learn from both of you. And I'm going to tell you guys the reason why I do say both of you. I feel like you gentlemen are each, I don't say this in a mean way, weathered, seasoned. Like, you guys have experience.
There we go.
No, I'm trying to you're trying to make this into like a confrontational thing. You guys have experiences that run very deep. And I think for a lot of different topics, your like subject matter expertise on it, whether it's because you're well-read, you have, been in the trenches, you have been business owners or are business owners. I actually think that I have a deep level of appreciation and respect for the fact that, like, you guys know your stuff. Like, you really know your stuff. And for me, sometimes I'm like, I'm like, pretty clever, and I catch on quick, and I can have a hot take on an issue. But I think you guys have like a deep level of subject matter expertise where it is very impressive, and I learn from it. And so that's my cop-out answer. You guys are both so brilliant. I learn from you.
In my sunset years, I'm glad that you've extracted that from this podcast, Jessica. I may do a LinkedIn post about that, just to say
your sunset years.
I had an epiphany. Anyway.
Well, so as I always do, but this is like proof positive of, like, you have to have smart friends in your network, smart colleagues, smart mentors, because I know that I could text you guys and like really quickly get a take on something, and you're going to feed me some really brilliant stuff where I'm like, yes, this is good. And so I do appreciate it. And people, it pays to have a smart network of friends.
I do have an email like to myself. Like that's how I like remind myself of like what to write, like ideas and stuff like that. And it is actually like the title is the email is book 3. And what it was the concept is just the 3 of us like coming up with a concept and then and actually just like our text messages back and forth, and actually just putting that in. So like chapter 3 might be like compensation equity. And then it was just literally us, like how we would actually talk in the text message going down and discussing it, because we do that kind of stuff where Jessica, you come out and say, hey, what do you guys think about whatever? And then all of a sudden it's like, we go down so many rabbit holes on this stuff. It's crazy.
And then somebody invariably comes in and says, I woke up to 97 text messages.
That's me. Yeah.
Sometimes it's you.
What time do you go to sleep?
Well, I'll tell you, because of the puppy, I'm literally been going to bed at 10 o'clock because I'm up. Like this morning, I was up at 4:30.
Oh,
I mean, so it's like I'm literally not getting like. I mean, I like at 10 o'clock, I'm passing out. Like it's not like I want to go to sleep at 10. Like I can't keep my eyes open.
It's going to camp soon, though, right?
Yeah. He goes to puppy boot camp here in a couple weeks, and then after that,
they're going to break him, Jay.
They'll break him.
The camp counselors are going to break him.
Yeah, and then I'll be back to normal schedule. I usually don't go to bed till like 11:30. Sometimes a little bit later, but
Man, puppy camp. This is one of the very few times where I know people can't see us, but we can see each other. And I think the sun is setting in our respective backgrounds because we usually are daytime peeps. So, man, what's happening? There's like some 5 o'clock shadow happening. I'm like, who are you all?
I know. KD got that new job, and now we can only record in the evening if he comes on. So.
Well, now you're ratting me out that I would record during the day typically.
Oh, geez.
Hey,
yeah.
you know what?
No, we'd always record.
JLee's busy. It's tough for me to get on her calendar. Super important.
Flexible work arrangements, and you all know I grind at night anyways.
Amen.
Amen. Grind it out. Well, episode 100. 100. We're in the triple digits. That is a milestone if there were one. And Kris, thank you so much for coming back to grace us with your wisdom and share some, little bit of emotion. Not really.
A lot of emotion for me, Jessica.
I tried to get him to cry, Jess. We talked about it.
Just misty. What does misty mean? Like, oh, there's something in my eye.
Little well up, right? And then 5 minutes after you do it, you feel just like the trickle getting out of the corner of your eye, and you're kind of, in your Midwestern roots, you're like, do I get it? Yeah. Do I not? No.
Let it freeze. Yeah.
Let them free. Just like my son, even at 5, he's already like, there's something in my eye. I'm like, just.
Hey, so I do want to come back. I want to be like sideline reporter.
Okay.
Like I want to give you, like I want to come in with the take and the news, and then I just want to get out.
Okay.
Right? I think that's probably acceptable, right?
Sure. Exactly. See, you're away from the show. Like, you can't let me just host an episode. We just spend some time talking about, like, me and my voice being heard. And you're like, sideline, hello, I got something to say. I was going to try to wrap it up. But yes, Kris, the floor is yours.
I think I said it all. I'm sorry.
No, please, sir.
No. I mean, I want to come back as a sideline reporter. I want to do a segment. That's all I meant. No, I don't have anything to add now. I don't have anything to add now. I just say I want to come back occasionally and hit you with a segment, quick take. You just have me on for like 10 minutes and then I'm out. I'm like Kaiser Soze. Poof, he was gone.
Gosh, I know nothing. This is why I probably didn't like the
Guys.
question of who do you learn from the most? Well, she's not that quick on the draw, doesn't understand any of the movie or sports references, yet she thinks she's a geriatric millennial and knows it all. It's her time.
She's next. It's her time.
She's next.
Yes,
It's her time. Well, now I feel like an idiot. So 100 episodes in the can. And, it's been real. Any final words before we call it a day?
Quick round. Tim Sackett, are the 3 of us collectively better friends as a result of doing 100 podcasts?
100%.
Jessica, are we better friends?
110%.
And I would say 111% just because I add value like that. But it's true. We're better friends than we've ever been, Jessica. And I think that regardless of who's listened, I think that's like the reason we did it. And that's awesome.
It was awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. And to, just the few listeners we have out there, mostly comprised of my family, thank you for being part of the HR Famous Nation. And, we have more than just my family because there's people who are leaving reviews on different sites, mostly good, except for that one. But thank you to our HR Famous Nation and our friends and family. We could not do this without you. We appreciate your support, your love, your feedback, and yeah, let's go for another, a few hundred episodes and just keep it going. So I'm Jessica Lee. He's Tim Sackett, our sideline reporter, Kris Dunn. Thank you for showing up and being here. We're out. See y'all later.